the first practice that will help you if you're starting out the homeschool year already burned out is to feather in the subjects. Don't start all the plates spinning on day one. Start with something that you know you can do and bring joy to your kids, and start with that. And then what you want to do is, over the course of the first few weeks, maybe even the whole month, slowly add in one thing at a time. And don't be afraid to allow your family to play and watch movies and go to the park. This is a transition for all of you. And if you're feeling overwhelmed and burdened on day one, imagine how your kids are feeling. So feather it in. Bring things back in a little bit at a time. You get to do that. You're a homeschooler. Number 2 was to add or introduce something new that's exciting to the homeschool experience, whether it's a game or a movie you're watching or a brand new way to interact with a subject area that's been challenging or boring or tedious. Try something new. My hair is crazy out here because of the wind. So give yourself the opportunity to bring something into the homeschool experience that would be good for your kids. What about when the one causing burnout isn't a school-age child, but the toddler? Well, now toddlers deserve their own scope. Toddlers are a unique proposition to manage in a homeschool dynamic. So you're going to have to be creative about creating some opportunities for them to be nurtured, played with, attended to. Some families rotate who gets the homeschool attention while other kids play with the toddlers. Some use listening to CDs, books on tape, or watching a movie during those crucial moments where you have to give attention to older kids. But yes, absolutely, the toddler can create burnout, and you're going to have to pace yourself. So one of the things that you want to do, I don't know who this is, but goodbye. One of the things that you want to do is think about what creates energy rather than only focusing on what's debilitating to you. So feather the subjects back in, bring something new that brings energy into the family. And then the third tip I was going to give you, and I bet you can guess what it is. Self-care is absolutely essential for the homeschooling parent. In other words, you cannot only do homeschool. You have got to have some way to safeguard time for yourself, time to waste. I'm not even talking about necessarily time that you devote to reading something profound or taking up marathon training. That's not what I mean. I mean some time that you can frivolously waste, throw away. Watch the sitcom that you've watched 1,000 times. Sit on your back deck and stare into space, plugging in your headphones and listening to music while you wash dishes. Find some way for you to simply be with yourself without pressure to improve yourself. Most of burnout comes from the feeling that you have to improve, that what you're doing right now isn't good enough, that you have to cross more T's and dot more I's this year than you did last year, or this year will be a failure. And I'm here to tell you that one of the ways that you can prevent the burnout feeling is to accept good enough, to be good to yourself, to say, I deserve some time to just do whatever I want. I don't have to be always in planning mode, always in productive mode, always in getting the house organized mode. I can take some time to simply go fallow, to feel the weight of the responsibility that I'm doing and let myself be okay with doing nothing productive. I think one of the hangovers in our culture, especially in the West, in America, is this drivenness that we feel to do better every single year. I know I feel it. I'm sure you feel it. Kids feel it. Exactly. And really, the truth of the matter is there is so much time, and you can go ahead and have the same year you had last year, and that's fine. Doesn't have to be significantly better, more perfectly organized, a more designed home space for your homeschool. You can actually keep going with what you are already doing and simply continue with the same thump, the same heartbeat, the same pacing, okay? So take some time to waste. Take some time that is literally just yours to squander, and that will give you a little bit of time to recover from those feelings of pressure. So let's go over the 3 things. The first one then is to feather in the subjects one at a time over the course of a month. The second one is to bring in something brand new that everyone's excited about. And the third one is to provide yourself with self-care. Self-care that isn't pressure. Self-care that allows you to frivolously waste time. And honestly, I would do that a little bit each day. I know for me, one of the ways that I enjoyed wasting time was to just flit around on the internet, scroll through whatever was going on in that world for me at the time, reading email lists, clicking through blogs, looking at information about a product I want to buy, and just getting to know what the details of that product are. It's okay to do that, okay? That's going to help you. Most of the pressure you're feeling comes from the desire and need to perform better than the previous year. In other words, think of it like this. I'm going to give you an analogy. So I run marathons, and every time I've run one, I always set the goal for myself to go faster than the previous one. But you know what's crazy? There is a certain threshold where I am going to go backwards in my time. I'm right there right now. Does that mean that marathoning is less valuable to me now because I didn't go faster than I did the previous 4 times I ran a marathon? No. The marathon itself is valuable, and I have fluctuating energy, fluctuating ability. I have totally different demands on my time and on my focus than I had when I was first doing it. So it's okay for me to just run. I don't always have to be improving my running in order for it to be valid. The same goes for homeschool. You are running a marathon of education. Some of you are going to do this for 20 plus years, and you have new factors to consider every year. Some years are not going to go as well as others just because one child is a teenager and everybody else is younger, and you can't yet quite orient the family to teen years. So you're sort of bridging between those 2 experiences. That means this year might not be as easy as when everybody was 11 or 12 and under. Or maybe you just had a baby, or you finally have a baby who's a toddler, and they are train wrecks compared to when you had the delight of just working with school-age children and a newborn. So remember that. You do not have to do homeschool better this year to be a successful home educator in your own right. And it's okay to simply do it and not improve it, okay? That's part of what this burnout feeling is about before you even get started. All right, so does everybody feel good about that? Did that help? I'm going to look at comments now, but I have to change the orientation so I can see them better. Oh, there we go. Breathing, thank you. Yes, yes, yes. Just keep swimming. Exactly, Betsy. Okay, so before I hang up, since you're all back now and I have the ability to keep Periscope going, do you have any questions for me? Anything you want me to discuss related to burnout that I didn't address with those 3 tips? And if you're joining me late, I'm Julie Bogart from Bravewriter. I teach writing and language arts through the programs and online classes that our staff offers. And then I also give homeschool encouragement and coaching through Periscope, Facebook Live, through our community called the Homeschool Alliance, which is located at CoachJulieBogart.com. You're certainly free to join if you need a boost, if you want some, not just coaching, but deep reading to help you make this year a great year. But like I said, it doesn't have to be better than last year. How do you relax when you see in social media that everyone looks like they have it all together? Well, first of all, you answered your own question because it looks like they have it all together. But don't you know that's not true? What everyone likes to show you on Facebook and Instagram is their successes. And the reason they want to show you is because they're so grateful they finally have one moment in the day that actually looks amazing. And so here's how you look at those pictures. It's, wow, look at that. She finally found that one candid moment in the day she can take a picture of and post and be proud of. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to look for that one magic moment out of 24 hours where we look like we have it together. And I'm going to put that on my Instagram. Guess what? That is totally valid. A great way to use Instagram. In fact, I suggest all the time that you pay attention to the good stuff going on in your home. Now, if you're going to use other people's posts to beat yourself up, then maybe what you want to do is contribute to a different meme on Instagram, showing how it really is. Show when you have a disaster, show when it doesn't go well, and help move the culture of what we share to be more well-rounded. Because it's good to see things that work. It's also good to see things that don't work and to be able to laugh and celebrate both. Somebody just asked me a question and I missed it. Sorry. Anxiety because the neighbor kids are all back in school and you worry your kids are all alone. Oh, that is so legit. I would absolutely suggest finding places for your kids to connect to other kids. Whether you set up a park day for all the homeschoolers in your area and you hang out once a week, or you invite homeschoolers over on a regular basis, or you join some kind of a co-op, or you put your kids in sports. It is important that children have an opportunity to connect with other people besides their families. Does that need to be the lion's share of their days? Absolutely not. But each week, it's great if they have an opportunity to, mix it up with other human beings. That's how parents feel too. Somebody says, do you find it hard to keep up with homeschool community without it? Oh, maybe you're talking to somebody else. I'm not sure. So, yes, it's important to be social. It's also important to be home. Homeschooling benefits from you being home. So that's okay too. Pulling in after a very busy summer with a lot of kids from school and your neighborhood is also a good thing. Okay, what else? Any other questions before I head out? Look how pretty my background is. Yeah, some people do feel happier when everyone goes back to school. I know I sometimes had that feeling myself. It was just a relief. Like, okay, now I'm not competing with the entire neighborhood energy to have my kids hang around and want to do things. Poetry tea time was always a big win for us. That was one of the ways that we brought our kids back to the center of the family. I'm in Catalina, California. Yeah, this is where my dad lives. And so I actually have the good fortune of visiting him in this spectacular location. He is currently 80 years old, and his wife is recovering from cancer, so I'm here to help. Wondering how to keep a new active toddler busy. He cries when I read. So frustrating. So when I had a toddler like that, I did things that people tell you you're never allowed to do. So I'm just going to tell you what I did. I used television. I would take my toddler and maybe the youngest child and put them on my bed in my bedroom and let them watch a Disney film while I was reading aloud to the older kids. Yeah, I did that. And amazingly, they all turned out. They survived it. Not only did they survive it, but Disney is their favorite thing. They all love to talk about their connection to Disney movies, and it became a big thing in our family. I also used nap time. I also cried many tears. I also tried the rotating of the older kid playing with the younger kid. Not to very good effect, honestly. So one of the things that I realized is that toddlers grow up, and it's okay to struggle when you have a toddler. And your kids will all survive it, and they'll get some semblance of an education, and then they suddenly grow up. Let me tell you a really great story, because this is one that I have shared often. Back when I had young kids and my house was constantly a mess, right? Right? Isn't your house constantly a mess when you have young kids? So back when I lived that life, I used to get this magazine for homeschoolers, because this is before the internet. And in that magazine, they would talk about ways to improve your household management. And what I discovered from one of the moms is she said, oh, well, it gets better when they're older. And I thought, well, that's not helpful. My kids are young. And then I thought, oh, wait, it gets better when they're older. That means this is normal. That means this isn't going away till they're older. So I'm just going to make peace with the fact that we use TV when they're young, or the house is a mess when they're young. And as they get older, things will improve. And that made me feel so much better about managing. Most of what you're doing is just coping, keeping kids alive, keeping them busy, and hopefully getting some schoolwork done at the same time. You can do it. You can do it. And things will change and improve. And you'll find that 1 month it all goes well, and the next month it's a disaster because the toddler is suddenly teething. You have no control. You can't fix all that. Yes, there you go. Okay, guess what? My phone is about to die again. I just got warned. And I don't want to leave without lovingly saying goodbye. So let's review. Feather in the subjects over the course of a month. Bring in something new that is exciting to everyone. And for you, the homeschooling mother or father, spend a little time every day wasting time, not being productive. take care of you by not always striving to be better than you were the day before. Okay? Those are my tips for homeschool burnout at the very start of the school year. And I'm going to flip this around and let us go out on gorgeous Catalina. Let's see if it'll do it. Here we go. All right, here's beautiful Catalina Island. Isn't it lovely? So look at the ocean. Waste a little time looking at this beautiful scene. Look at this lovely casino that is now a movie theater. Look at the mountains. Look at the happy vacationers. Look at my favorite thing in the whole world, palm trees. They make me happy. And peace be with all of you. We're going to end on this note. Love you guys. This is Julie Bogart signing off from Bravewriter. Live honestly, write bravely. See you all again soon.